Hi everybody, I'm Dimcho Tsanov, and in this video I'm going to show you an overview about Feedbacker Lite. Feedbacker Lite is a free SharePoint Online add-in that enables you to collect feedback from your colleagues. For the purpose of this video, let's use the following scenario. Let's say that we want to get feedback about our new document management system that is recently integrated in our company. Here is my SharePoint site, which is based on the new modern team site template. I have already installed Feedbacker Lite in it, but if you don't know how to do this action, please check my tutorial about how to install SharePoint add-in from the App Store. I'll click on the add-in name. The Feedbacker Lite homepage is presented. There are several important areas here. The link sections, which links are described later in the video. The statistics section, which shows very basic information about the total usage of the tool. And since we didn't use it so far, here we see zeros. But during the demo, you will notice that these numbers will change and will show in real time the item counts. Getting started area with this video tutorial about how to use the add-in. And in the top left there is the settings menu. It shows us some general information as well as provide to us links to some system pages, like the updates page, for example, which allows us to check if there are any major or minor updates. But let's now continue with our scenario, collecting feedback about our new document management system. What we need to know about Feedbacker Lite is that there are two connected lists that store the information. Campaign list is the place where we define the questions and various settings about them. Feedback list is the place where all of the user feedback is stored. Let's navigate to the campaign list first. There are two types of forms we can choose from: rating and comments only. We'll create one item from each type so we can show the differences. Let's start with rating and comments, which is the default content type. As the name of the type says, the user will be asked to give their rate for the document management system. So I will state the question like this: how would you rate the new document management system? And I'll put here 5 as the number of rating stars. And let's leave the other fields with the default values. Please note that the checkbox for anonymous feedback is selected, which means that all of the feedback for this particular question will be absolutely anonymous. And let's create now one campaign item using the other type, comments only. Here we will state our question in a different way. What do you think about the new document management system? Because this type of questions don't require rating and it is only a free text. And now we will uncheck the option for anonymous feedback. This means that this feedback will be personal. We will be able to see the name of the replier. And we will leave this option unselected for now because we want each user to be able to submit only one feedback. Okay, we have created our campaign items. Let's now add the feedback form to a page. There are 3 ways to add a form to a page. I will show you all of them. It's up to you to choose the one that best works for you. The 3 ways are adding app part, embedding iframe, embedding HTML. Let's start with the app part control. If you choose this approach, it doesn't matter if you are working with modern or classic page. The app part is available for both page types. Here is the homepage of my modern theme site, and of course the homepage is modern page. Let's add Feedbacker Lite on it. The app part has 2 configuration settings: campaign key and base color. For the campaign key, we must provide the unique key of the campaign item that we want to display. In our scenario, first this will be the rating and comments campaign. Let's copy this key and paste it here. The value of the base color must be in the format RGB. For example, this value. If you want to add color here but you don't know the RGB value, please note that there are free CSS color converters like this one that I'm showing you now. So after we have added the key and the color, but please note the color is optional, we can save the up part, and here is our feedback form. As mentioned, the up part approach works in classic pages too, but one major difference is that in classic pages you don't have the nice option resize to fit the page. Because of this, you may see unwanted scroll bars. To give you more control over the experience of the feedback form, Feedbacker Lite provides HTML builder, which generates iframe or HTML code that can be embedded directly into a page. And this leads us to option 2, adding feedback form through embed of iframe. Let's first navigate to the HTML builder, one of the items in the link section of the homepage. Embed as option must be set to iframe. We will select here a campaign item, but this time we will choose the other item, which requires free text as an answer. And here in the embed code text area is the HTML of the iframe that we can embed. And we are now back to the home page. In modern pages, we have a special control for embedding iframes or URL. This is the embed control, so we can add it on the page and paste the copied code here. I can suggest you to use always the option resize to fit the page. And here is our form. In classic page, there is two specifics we must know if we want to add iframe to a page. The first one is related to the custom script feature. If the custom script is allowed in the site, we can use the content or script editor web part and embed the iframe. If the custom script is not allowed, and this is usually the default setting in modern sites, custom editor and script editor are not allowed. You cannot find them in the listed web parts. The second specific is related to the page type, wiki or web part page. If we use wiki page, even the custom script is prevented to our site, we can still use this button embed code and embed our iframe. If, however, we have a web part page and the custom script is prevented, unfortunately, the only option different from the app part, web part, is to use the page viewer web part, but this is very basic control and definitely worst approach. So for web part page, when the custom script is prevented, there is no good solution for adding HTML iframe code directly in the page, so it is better to use the app part control. And the last option, number 3, is the most user-friendly, and it gives us two options to open the feedback form. And this is adding feedback form through embed of HTML. In the HTML builder, you will notice that there are two separate options related to the page type. This is because from technical perspective, the page types are very different and require different script logic. Let's select the option HTML modern pages in the embed as control, and let's select a campaign item here. There are two different options we can choose from launching the form. The first one is the form to be sticky to the page button, like this. And the second one is the form to be open in a modal dialog from link in the sidebar area, like this. Here we have also different options for specifying white, height, color, so the form fits best to our campaign settings. Let's copy this generated HTML because we'll use it later. Here is something very important for adding custom HTML to a page. For modern pages, currently there is no out-of-the-box control that supports this action. This is very important. But for classic pages, this is a support action. You can use content or script editor to embed HTML. For more detailed descriptions, please watch my tutorial how to embed HTML to a SharePoint page. A link to it is added in the video description. Please also check the documentation site to see the latest announcements about the Feedbacker Lite and its support of modern pages. Now, in this site, I have deployed the script editor component that is part of the SharePoint patterns and practices code samples. So I will paste the copied HTML and will save this web part. And here is the Feedbacker form. We explored the different options for adding the feedback form to modern or classic pages. Let's now take a look at the collected results. We configured the first campaign item to be anonymous, while the second one is not. Let's first replay with our current user to the first question. Here we are typing our answer and the feedback is successfully added. Let's navigate to the feedback list. As you can see, there are three predefined views. You can create your own if you need something more specific. Remember, feedback list is a normal SharePoint list, so you can customize it in any way. The default view My Voice shows only items created from the current user. Active Campaigns view shows only items related to campaigns that are not marked as finished. And all items, of course, shows everything. We provide our feedback, but you can notice that here in the default view there is no items, and this is absolutely correct because we reply to a campaign question that collect anonymous feedback, and our reply cannot be found here. It can be found in the other views. If we check the last modified or created by values of our reply, we will see that we cannot see the real name of the replier. And Feedbacker Lite provides truly anonymous feedback. Let's now go back to the home page, and as you can see, we can again submit feedback because this is again anonymous question and there is no restrictions to the user. But we will now reply to our second question. Okay. And going back to the feedback list, now we can see our reply in the default view. If we go back to the page, we will see that we cannot add more results. Again, this is because of our configuration of the campaign. If we need, we can also allow multiple replies per questions. And the last thing I would like to explain is about one specific in the security of the feedback list. Every user is able to see his own replies, but only users with higher permissions can see the items of the other user. And this is very important configuration. I'll repeat it. Only users with design or above permissions levels can see other feedbacks. I hope you like the Feedbacker Lite add-in and you will find it useful in the context of your business scenarios. Please rate the add-in in the App Store and send us your honest feedback. Thank you for watching.